So let's go ahead and come onto our mats. And today we're just going to lay ourselves back. But I do want you to make sure you have a belt handy because we're going to use this for our shoulder work. And then if you need to have your blocks, take one block right close by to you and leave the other one off to the side. If you don't have blocks but you have a towel or a book or something that you can use, we're going to do some strength work for the legs as well. And so I want you to just be able to have time to do that and a little bit of core strengthening with the block as well. So let's go ahead and lay back. We're going to open our feet up wider than hip width apart, knees to touch, and lay all the way back. As you lay all the way back, just place your hands on your stomach and close your eyes. And this is our opportunity to just settle into this space. This place where we can start to create this stress-free, problem-free zone. Dropping into this zone of feeling the body go heavier, like it's making an imprint on the mat. Relaxing the face, the tongue, the jaw. Notice if your chin is aiming to the sky. If so, draw that chin back down parallel to the mat so we don't put so much pressure in the back of the head. And just feel the breath move through the nose with your lips sealed. Our eyes are closed or we're softly gazing to the tip of our nose so we block out that external stimuli and draw the awareness in. Feel yourself just finding some peace and ease in this moment. And carry that feeling through the rest of the class. Start to bring the breath deeper into the body. Inhaling nice and deep, feeling the body expand towards the sky and down into the mat. And as you exhale, push all the air out of the body like you're imprinting your body deeper into the mat. Then inhale nice and deep, expand. Exhale, let it out. Remember, the breath is still through the nose. Inhale nice and deep. Exhale, release. Go ahead and take this 2 more times. Feel free to release the arms, open the knees, and heel-toe the feet back in line with the body. But then I want you to move those feet closer. So you can imagine tickling your heels or grazing those heels. We want our feet close enough to us that we have support with the alignment of knees over ankles. And then give a little tuck of your shoulder blades because we're going to work bridge pose. And as you hold here, press into the back of the arms, not just the hands. So we're not pushing into the back of the head. And then from here, inhale, lift your hips to the sky into bridge pose. Keep your gaze aiming to the sun. And then exhale, bring your hips back down to the earth. And again, inhale, press strong into the earth to lift the hips. And then exhale, lower. Take this one more time without your block. Inhale, press up. Exhale, release down. So now grab your block or something that you can place between the legs. And then take a squeeze of the legs into the block. And same thing, but fire up the legs just a little bit more. Inhale, float the hips to the sky. Exhale, return your hips down to the earth. 2 more times, and we're going to add in the arms. Lifting the hips. Try and bring it breath with movement. So as your hips lift, you're inhaling. As you come back down to the earth, you're exhaling. Good. Now let's inhale, lift the hips. Arms stay down. Mind-body connection. Exhale, lower the hips, arms stretch overhead. Squeeze into the block, lift your hips, let your arms come back down to the mat. Keep squeezing the blocks as you lower the hips, arms stretch overhead. Let's take this 3 more times. Finding the pace that works with your own breath, being mindful of how you're feeling in each part of the body. Remember, you are a student of your body, so doing what feels best for you. And we may have done one extra, that's okay. Keep the arms over the head, then bring those fingertips to temples. Now, keep squeezing the block, and let's do some ab work. Exhale, crunch to lift. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, release. Now, if you want to become a little more active in these crunches, lift the knees and reach to your heels, and then bring everything back down. Exhale, crunch and lift. Inhale, release. 2 more times. And last one. Holding the block between the inner thighs, let's go ahead and cross the right shoulder to the left thigh. So we twist over and come center left shoulder to the right thigh. Twist and center. Keep coming back to the elbows, opening wide so the chest reopens. Lead with the shoulder, not the elbow. So we're not trying to pull the arm in as we crunch. We're keeping it open as we twist over. So we use the obliques for 2 more. And then come back down. I want you to bring the knees over the hips and then draw the block between the knees if you're not already there. A little more activation here. But what I want you to do is make sure these knees stay even when we take our spinal rotation. So we're not trying to go to the floor with those knees, especially if your right knee is riding higher than the left. You want the knees to stay even so it may not go. And I'm going to move my block down just a little bit to see the knees. Open the arms out to the letter T. Start to slowly roll, squeeze the block, keep your knees even, and you may only go so far. Maybe you're used to your thigh coming all the way to the floor. Well, now look, my bottom knee is forward of my top knee. So coming back up, my knees are even. So keep the knees even, come back to center. Now let's roll to the other side. For some of us, we're gonna just tip a little bit. For others, we're gonna see where we can go, where our knees don't change in distance. Come back to center. If you're like, I can't tell, why not take the block on top of your knee with the opposite hand, hold, and roll. And the moment you notice the block tipping off of one knee, you've gone too far. Come back to center. And then do the same thing to the other side. Maybe hold it with the block. And come back to center. Now, place the block back in between the knees. And let's do this, making sure now your back shoulder stays on the floor. When we were holding the block, the shoulder had to come off. Now glue it down to the floor. Press your hands down into the mat. Here we go. Twist, keep those knees even. Come back to center. Twist, keep those knees even. Good, come back to center. From here, release the block, send it to the side, and hold those hamstrings and rock yourself up. As you rock yourself up, I'm going to have you just turn and face towards the camera or the long edge of your mat. It doesn't matter, even if it's the short edge of your mat. But lift up nice and tall, and let's get into these hips a little bit. Walking those hands forward and releasing the head and neck. Make sure you're pressing back so your sit bones stay on the earth. Slowly walk the hands into the body. Change legs. We're staggering the heels. And I want you to do that so your knees and your hips get a chance to relax. Instead of being here, keeping the hips active, stagger the heels, lift up tall, and then slowly tip forward. As the head and neck relaxes, push into your hands, push your bottom back onto the mat so your sit bones stay sealed, and then let the head and neck relax. And then walk the hands back into the body. Take an inhale and circle the arms, grow tall up to the sky, cross the wrists and bring the arms down and through. Mind-body connection. Inhale, rise up. Take the other wrist in front and cross and come through. We're going to do this 2 more times. Inhale. Take the other wrist in front, cross and come down and through. 1 more time. Bring the hands to rest in your lap with the right hand on top of the left. Let the thumbs gently touch and let your head and neck relax. You can gaze to the top of your hand or the palm of your hand, or you can close the eyes. Keep your heart lifted. Be careful of rounding into your low back and becoming that professional sloucher. We probably do that enough throughout the day. We don't need to do that in our practice. Let's build the strength along our erectus spinae, that spine. Just take a moment here. Let's do that sound of Om. Inhale nice and deep. Om. Feel that vibration resonate through the body. Feel like it's something that'll break up all that stress and tension, and it just allows it to melt off your body into the earth so you can be free of that. Understand that as you come onto the mat today, this is always all about you. It is not about me or what my body's doing. It's not about where you were last week, yesterday, or a year ago. It's where you're at today. Be that student of your body and allow yourself to listen to what the body needs. When we listen, we're more likely to find ease. When we don't listen, we may end up saying, I knew I shouldn't have done that. And I don't want that to happen. I want you to listen to your body and only do what's right for you. My theme for you this month is from a quote from Les Brown. And it basically is saying that we tell ourselves, no matter how hard it gets or how hard it is, I'm going to make it. Tell yourself you are going to make it. I am going to make it. Whether it relates to your yoga practice or this time in self-quarantine. Remember, we're all in this together. Gently blink the eyes open as you come into the present. Raise the gaze if it was down. Grab that block. You're going to love this. Take the block in front. So it is lengthwise, and you're going to come into table pose for a moment. So turning onto all fours, we come into table pose. I want you to take your hands and make an L shape on the bottom half of your block. If you don't have a block, it's okay. Just make an L shape. And then slowly walk your knees back. And then float your hips back into child's pose. Take a pause here. In this pause, forget about the block for a moment. Take your right hand outside the mat. Pick your left arm up and bring it on top of the right if you can, and then let the head and neck relax. Breathe deep into your left ribs. Now bring your hands, inhale, back to the center of the mat. Now walk your left hand to the outside of the mat, and then exhale your right hand, if you can, on top of the left. If not, somewhere next to it. If you're like, I can go across, go ahead and do it. Release the head and neck and stretch deep into the right side of the body. Use your inhales, those deep inhales, to fill the space between the ribs. Inhale, bring those hands back to center, L frame the block, and exhale to release. On your next inhale, come forward into kneeling plank, bring the chest right over the thumbs, and exhale, hover above the block. Inhale, press up, exhale, hinge back. Inhale, forward to kneeling plank. Exhale, hover above the block. Inhale, press up, exhale, hinge back. This time, what I want you to do is inhale forward, bring your chest onto the block. Feel free to let your chin go onto it or over it and turn your toes under. So here's your assisted 8-point press. Inhale, press up. Exhale, hinge back. And I'll move back just a little bit so my water bottle isn't in my face. So we inhale forward, chest over thumbs. Hands are underneath our shoulders. Then we turn our toes under and slowly bring your chest down onto that block. Inhale, press up. Exhale, hinge back. So that can be an 8-point press for you, where you have your chest and your chin land on the block. Otherwise, take the block off to the side. And let's inhale forward, turn toes under. Slowly start to lower the chest and chin to the mat. If you're like, oh, I need the block, then go back to using the block. Inhale, press up. Exhale, hinge back. So this month we're working 8-point press in our sun salutation just to get more flexibility in our spine and build strength in our back. So there is always a method. Inhale forward, turn toes under. Exhale, bring the chest and chin to the mat. Pause here, unlock toes. As you release your hips, scoop through, hips down, elbows are bent, and then exhale into child's pose. Take a nice pause, inhale nice and deep, open, let it out. Let's meet in down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Take a moment here, pedal out the heels. If you're not comfortable pedaling the heels, just keep the legs straight or the knees bent. If you are pregnant or protecting a back, I want you to make sure that you take these poses only where it feels right for you. Take a moment while you're here, shake the head yes and no. Then bend those knees, look to thumbs, step forward to the hands into Uttanasana, forward fold. Your block should be close by. If you don't have one, it's okay. Take the block between the legs. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to the heart for a moment. So we are going to take a little warm-up flow before our sun salutations. But I want you to feel the energy shoot into the legs while you're squeezing that block. If you don't have the block, just imagine something is between your legs and you're hugging your inner thighs towards each other. So from here, let's inhale, circle to the sun. And exhale, swan dive with a flat back to forward fold. Knees can be straight or bent. It is up to you. Inhale, rise to the sky. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. We're going to do this 2 more times. Inhale, reverse to the sun. Exhale, swan dive. Look to your upper thighs or your knees. Let your head and neck hang. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, swan dive into that fold. Now let's change it up. Inhale, reverse to the sun. Exhale, sit in chair. Those hips go back and down. Inhale, circle to the sky. Exhale, sit in chair. 2 more times. Reach up to the sun. Sit into those heels, belly in tight. Sweep to the sun. Exhale into those heels, chair pose. Reach to the sky. Put these 2 moves together. Swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, reverse to the sky. Exhale, sit in chair. Inhale, rise to the sun. Exhale, fold to the earth. Inhale, rise to the sky. Exhale, sit in chair. Continue. Find the pace that works for you. 1 more set. Inhale, rise to the sun. Exhale, hands to heart, gaze to the fingertips, take a pause. Inhale, nice and deep. Open the mouth, let it out. Are you still holding the block with power, or did you kind of release that power through the flow? And I want you to fire those legs up today. Really imagine in all of our poses, you're trying to squeeze a block between the inner thighs. Go ahead and release the block to the top of the mat. We'll use it a little bit later for some of our poses, bringing a little bit more power. But let's move through those sun salutations. Again, it is that 1 breath, 1 move flow, just like we did with the block. But from here, let's bring the hands to the heart. Inhale, rise to the sky. Exhale, fold to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift fingertips to shins, flatten the back. Exhale, fold. Kneeling lunge. Let's bend the knees and send that right knee back. Then look forward. Lengthen out your spine. Exhale to kneeling plank. Send that left knee back, chest over thumbs. Float into child's pose. Hips towards heels. You don't have to come all the way back. Then 8-point press. Inhale, forward to kneeling plank. Exhale, chest and chin to the mat. So chest, chin, hands, knees, toes. Inhale, scoop to cobra. Pull the heart through. Elbows stay bent. Exhale, back to child's pose. Inhale, kneeling lunge. Bring that right foot forward. Where does it land? You need to grab that foot and help it forward. And then let the hips drop as you look straight ahead. Exhale that left foot into fold. Inhale, rise to the sun. Exhale, hands to heart. Some of you may take a back extension. Others, you're going to reach to the sun. Let's rise to the sky. Exhale, fold to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift, flatten the back. Is the block between your legs? Pretend it's there. Exhale, fold. Inhale, kneeling lunge, body left knee going back, looking straight ahead. Exhale into kneeling plank, chest over thumbs. Or inhale. Float back to those heels, child's pose. 8-point press, forward to kneeling plank, lower chest and chin to the mat. If this doesn't work, take half crocodile. Release the toes, scoop through to cobra. Exhale back to child's pose. Inhale, left foot forward to kneeling lunge. Help that foot, knee and ankle stack, look forward. Step into your fold. Inhale, rise up to the sun. Exhale to sit in chair. Good, sweep to the sky. Hinge to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Send the right foot or knee back to lunge or kneeling, but push through both heels and look forward. Step back into plank or kneeling, chest over thumb. So pull the shoulders over the wrists. Float into down dog or child's pose. Come forward into kneeling plank and lower to 8-point press. Scoop up dog or cobra. Hinge back, down dog or child's pose. Float the right foot forward, lunge or kneeling. Look forward, lengthen, push through those heels. Step into forward fold. Inhale, rise to the sun. Exhale, hands to heart. Again, rise to the sky. Fold to the earth. Halfway lift and fold. Send the left foot or knee back to lunge or kneeling. Look straight ahead. Step into plank or kneeling. Shoulders over wrists. Down dog or child's pose. Forward to kneeling plank. Lower 8-point press. Scoop the heart through. Up dog or cobra. Hinge back. Down dog or child's pose. Our left foot floats forward to lunge or kneeling. Look straight ahead. Step into fold. Rise up to the sun. Hands to the heart. One more round for each side. Rise to the sky. Fold to the earth. Halfway lift and fold. Send your right foot or knee back to lunge or kneeling. Look straight ahead. Left foot back to plank or kneeling. Shoulders over wrists. Down dog or child's pose. Forward, plank or kneeling. And then lower to that 8-point press. Chest, chin, hands, knees, toes. Scoop up dog or cobra. Hinge back. Down dog or child's pose. Our right foot floats forward to lunge or kneeling. Look straight ahead. Step your left foot into fold. Rise up to the sun. Hands come into heart. Last one. Add your own flair. Rise to the sky. Fold to the earth. Halfway lift. And fold. Send that left foot or knee back. Look straight ahead. Find plank or kneeling. Shoulders over wrists. Down dog or child's pose. Forward to kneeling plank. Come into 8-point press or half crocodile. Scoop through up dog or cobra. Push the floor away if you're in up dog. Hinge back. Down dog or child's pose. Our left foot floats forward to lunge or kneeling. Lengthen that body. Step into fold. Rise to the sun. Hands to the heart. Take a nice big inhale. Open and sigh it out. We use these deep breaths and breathing through our nose to warm up the lungs, but also maintain this internal body heat. And these sun salutations stoke that internal fire. So if at any time you need to release that heat, just exhale out the mouth. But what I want you to do is join me standing nice and tall in Tadasana. And take a moment to close your eyes. How is the body feeling? Are there any adjustments you need to make throughout the practice based on just sun salutations alone and how the body is feeling? So as we find ourselves standing tall, I want you to grab your belt, and then also when you're ready, take that belt around the back of your neck, but then take your block into the hands. And I want you to hold the block between the palms without your fingers wrapping around. So the palm of your hands are going to press in, and then I want you to hug your elbows in, and then draw those elbows back towards your ribs, and then hold here. And we're going to face the length of our mat because we're going to move on from this in a moment. And as you stand nice and tall here, I want you to sit in chair, Utkatasana, sending the weight into your heels. Press the block out. Then inhale, stand up nice and tall. Notice my elbows went out. Pull them in. Inhale, press out. Exhale, pull. Hug elbows in, slide them to your ribs. Press out. Pull in. Can you do this 2 more times? Press out. Make sure your fingers aren't wrapping. Elbows hug in and pull in. 1 more time. Press out. Hold. 5, squeeze that block. 4, flutter your toes. Weight is in the heels. And then press to rise, squeeze back in. Yeah, take that block down. And from here, I want you to hold the belt, take it above the arms. Open the arms up a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. Anchor into your right foot, pick up the left knee. As you move into Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2, step that left foot back, open hips and shoulders. I have smacked myself in the head with the belt loop, so I am going to grab that so it doesn't happen today. So as you find your Warrior 2, take the arms over the head, soften your shoulders for a moment. As you bend into the knee, understand your feet are your foundation, and we need that solid foundation. So find yourself with your right foot aiming to the edge of the mat, your left foot aligned with the other edge. On an exhale, take the arms behind. Notice I did not bend my elbows to do this. Inhale, come up. If you need to open your arms wider or bring them closer, do that. Exhale in front. Inhale, rise up. Feel a little tension in that stretch when you go behind. Inhale, rise up. Exhale in front. If you don't have a belt, do arm circles. Inhale up. Exhale, circle back, right? Inhale up. Exhale, circle forward. I need you to take this 4 more times. Some of you are focusing on your arms and you're no longer in Warrior 2, so bend that knee. Keep that knee stacked over your ankle. How do I know when you're not at my house? Because it's something we all tend to do. Inhale, rise. Exhale in front. Come on, 2 more. You've got this. I know your legs are singing. Maybe it's opera. It's okay. Relax. Breathe. Unclench your teeth 1 more time. As you take a release, release the belts to the other side of your mat. We'll get to it later. Straighten the leg. Right? Big reach for triangle pose. And a slow tip of the hand to the thigh, a shin. Bring your hand in front of your calf for those of you that can take your hand a little bit deeper. Drive into the big toe mound. Today is a lot of strength building. If you're like, yeah, that's not what I signed up for when I clicked on, then stay here. Otherwise, exhale, twist down. Inhale, open up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, open. You don't have to take these twists, but I'm going to do it 2 more times if you want to join me. And open. 1 more time. And open. Pause here. Float into reverse warrior. So pass through warrior 2. Realign those hips. And then stretch to the back. So pulling away from that right knee. Your hand can go to your hip. It can turn up to your leg. But I want you to big stretch here. Take a windmill down into a low lunge. Some of us are on this tightrope. Heel toe your right foot over. And inhale, rise up into crescent or high lunge. Bring your fingertips behind the ears. Pull the elbows back. Now what? Bow halfway. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rise up, reach your arms back. Warrior 3. Maybe we're wiggly and wobbly. Our plane is hitting turbulence. And come back down into crescent or high lunge. Yeah, fingertips behind the ears. Tip forward, knee over ankle. 4, 3, 2, 1. Rise up into warrior 3. Notice those numbers are getting shorter as we come back down into crescent or high lunge. You don't have to do this. You can stay right here, fingertips behind the ears, elbows back, bow forward. 3, 2, 1. Rise up. Find that power in your right leg. Come back down into crescent or high lunge. Foundation first. Then fingertips behind the ears. Tip forward, knee over ankle. 1, 2, rise up. Last time, crescent or high lunge. Fingertips behind ears. Bow forward. Rise into warrior 3. Release into your crescent or high lunge. And come down into plank. Step that right foot back. And if you're like, please, let that be the end. Nope. Either come into kneeling or stay in plank. Wherever you choose, we're going to go into Vinyasa, side plank. So either you're kicking your right foot behind as the left leg straightens and you open out to the side, or you roll and stack. Pull your right hip from the earth. Some of you, let's take tree pose with our leg. If you fall, you may end up in wild thing. That's okay. Release into plank. Float into 3-legged dog. Then inhale forward, bring the knee to the nose. Rise back up. Forward, knee outside right elbow. Rise back up. Knee over to left elbow. Rise up. This can be done in table, knee to nose. Keep your left knee on the mat if you want. Rise up. Outside of right elbow, come forward. Rise up. Over to the left elbow. Rise up 1 more time. Forward, knee to nose. Or stay in 3-legged. Come across. Outside. You know. Then come across. Let's make our way into lizard pose. Sweep that right foot outside the hand. Bring the left knee down. Let your hips go heavy. Stay on the hands. Move to that block. Come onto the elbows. Or move to the floor. But what I want you to do here is as you pull your heart forward, equal pressure into both elbows, I want some of you to lift your left knee off the mat. Equal pressure into both elbows, not just the left. Wherever we are all at, our hands are going to come onto the mat. We are going to lift our knee and flip our heel down and walk into Spider-Man lunge. So reach out onto your fingertips, push your bottom high, let your head go low. Now let's walk our hands back in towards our right foot, step into plank, and either stay here or power vinyasa. Lower to crocodile. Lift up dog, hinge back. down dog. Inhale nice and deep. Open, let it out. Walk your toes towards your hands. Your block is there. Grab it. Take it between the inner thighs. Bend your knees and either walk your feet back or hop into plank. Walk your hands back to your feet. Knees are bent, knees are straight, whatever you need, walk into plank. Walk back to your feet and hang out here. Grab the opposite elbow, let your head hang. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Grab the block, turn around. Now, remember we had our belt on this side, so I do want you to grab your belt, place it around the head and neck, and then grab your block. Remember, we're holding the block with the palm of our hands, so I don't want your fingers to wrap. I don't want you to hold with your thumb. Spread your fingers out. Now your elbows are going to naturally want to go into chicken wings. Hug them in, almost like we were holding the block between our elbows, but our chest gets in the way. So, block out, feet open, hip width apart or together, it is up to you. And from here, we're going to do reverse. When we sit in chair, pull it in, weight is in the heels, stand tall, push back out. Exhale, sit in chair, weight is in the heels. Press back out. Notice, are your knees rolling into each other? Keep your knees open, aiming to your toes. Exhale. If you have two blocks, put one block between your inner thighs while the other block is in your arms. Hug elbows in and press up. Exhale. Inhale. One more time. Hold here, release the block. As you release that block, take the belt into the hands, rise the arms up, shoulder width apart. Now lift your right leg. And you can adjust the hands when you get into warrior two. So step back, open hips and shoulders. So as you go to push back a little bit, decide, do your arms need to open a little bit more? Now, is that knee bent? Did you do a sassy hip to compensate? So we want this hip, because now it's making our back go wonky, we want this hip underneath our shoulder. We want the knee open, aiming to our toes. And if you're like, my body's not doing that, maybe you need to heel toe your foot across to release some tension in the hips. Or you have to shorten your stance. But if you're sassy, it's not going to work. Over time, you're going to have issues. Ready? You're like, stop talking, let's go. Exhale, go back. Inhale, rise up. Exhale in front. For some of you are thinking, keep talking, I need to catch my breath. Remember, move at your own pace. Breathe through the nose. If you can hear the birds, just how peaceful it is outside right now. Think of your practice the same way. 2 more times. Again, your thigh may be yelling at you. It is not going to fall off your body. Breathe through it. You're going to get through it, because there's other poses that your thigh will be like, haha, that's not for me. Go ahead and stay here. Release the belt again to the other side of your mat. Straighten the arms. Now we're coming into triangle. Straighten the leg. First, stretch long. Drive into your feet. Then release. Hand to thigh, shin. If you can go deeper, bring your hand in front of the calf. We're going to do a couple twists here. Exhale, twist down. You don't have to do this. Inhale, open up. Even if you're up here, you can exhale, tap. Inhale, open. 2 more times. Twist and open. Squeeze those inner thighs like there's the beach ball. And open. Move into reverse warrior. Exhale. And then stretch behind. Bend into that knee, but keep it open. Hand to the hip to give you a little more support. Hand down the leg, feather touch. Let's windmill down into a low lunge. But now we're close to being on a tightrope, and this isn't going to help us to balance. Heel toe that left foot over. Are you ready for that crescent and warrior 3? Now, you can stay here in kneeling and then just pick your knee up. Okay, so there's your alternative. The rest of us, let's rise into crescent. Take the fingertips behind, pull the elbows back. Knee over ankle as you bow, push into that heel. 5, 4, hip pulling in and back. 3, 2, 1. Press up into warrior 3. Both hips and shoulders aiming to the mat. If you feel like you have a lot of turbulence here, maybe you need to lower your leg or bend the knee and let your toe touch. Come back into crescent or high lunge. Fingertips behind the ears. Open up. Bow forward. Hug that left shin and back. 4, hip. 3, 2, 1. Rise up. Come back into crescent or high lunge. Oh, I know how happy your left leg is. Pull the elbows back. Tip forward. 3, 2, 1. Rise up. Come back into crescent or high lunge. Come on, the numbers are getting smaller. Fingertips behind ears, elbows back. Tip forward. 2, 1. Rise. Hello, glute. You're getting so toned. And one more time. Fingertips behind ears. Open elbows. Press forward. Rise up. Release into crescent or high lunge. Meet me in plank. As we hold plank, we have the option of kneeling. From kneeling plank, you can lift the right knee, come into side plank, or stack. Open. Stay here. Notice I'm not dropping my hip. That's such a load for the shoulder. Pull up. I need you to do that. Where do you want to take your right foot? If you're thinking into Shavasana, we've got a few more minutes before that's going to happen. Release into plank. Lift into three-legged, left leg up. Take a breath. Then inhale forward, knee to nose. Rise up. Over to the left elbow. Rise up. Over to the right elbow. And rise. 2 more times. Do you want to be on your knee? You're still going to get the benefits, just not the intensity, right? Come on, one more time. Center. Rise, left elbow, rise, right elbow. Now pause. Floating into lizard, bring your left foot outside your hand, your right knee down. We can stay right here. But if your foot is back here and you're dropping forward and see what's happening to my knee, it's passing my toes. I don't want you to do that. Move your foot forward as best as you can and try and shift your hips. Even if you're back here, at least your knee isn't loading past your toes. Hands on the mat, hands on the block, elbows on the block, elbows on the mat. What do you want? Release the head and neck. Hug your knee into your body. Those of you that want more does not mean better. Turn your right toes under, lift that knee off the mat. Wherever you're at, rise back up. Press into the earth to step into plank and stay here or take a power vinyasa. Lower to crocodile. Lift to up dog. Hinge back. Hold down dog. Now walk your feet to your hands. Grab the block. Come back into forward fold. Either bend your knees and walk your feet out to plank, or you can hop many times or one time. Place your hands under your shoulders and then walk your hands to your feet. Forward fold. One more. We're going to walk out into plank. Squeeze that block with your inner thighs. Come on. Push the floor away. Walk your hands back in. And then hug the elbows. Whatever you traditionally do, switch it. While you're down here, release the block. Inhale, rise to the sky, and slowly turn all the way around. Taking your hands to your hips, lift your heart. Step back with the left foot and come into straddle fold. Now, here's your option. Some of you will take straddle fold and you'll stay there. Others will go into headstand, whether it's on your forearms or tripod. But we were hugging the elbows in that chair work, right? If you're doing tripod stance here, the elbows do not swing out. They come in and bend so your knees can go onto your legs. I'm going to turn sideways for those of you that want the arm visual. The rest of you come into straddle fold and either stay or go into your headstand. So I don't have a wardrobe malfunction. Let me tuck my shirt in. All right, so we have the option of straddle, fold, straddle into headstand here, right, with our head down on the floor, or some of you may not be able to come in from straddle, so you're going to step your feet in, tip your head forward. You should be able to see your fingertips, elbows hug in. You can bring yourself into tripod and then extend one leg at a time or both legs to rise up. Or you can come into it from straddle. Well, there's some wall in the way for me. Wherever you're at, come down and meet me in child's pose. So if you are in straddle fold, the length of your mat, you can come into child's pose, turning to the right foot, bringing the left knee down, and then floating into child's pose. But wait, there's more. Slowly round up. Now, we've been working Ekahasta Bhujasana, and that is our one leg over arm pose, otherwise known as elephant trunk. And if you're like, I'm tired, I'm not doing anymore, it's okay. Start stretching if you'd like. Otherwise, what I want you to do is grab your blocks. Take those blocks outside your hips. And I know I'm sitting like this, so if you switched where you're sitting, it's okay, but I want you to do this little arm strength core work. So if you want, your blocks are going to be flat or they're going to be horizontal, but they have to be the flat blocks, and your hand has to be in the center of the block. So you can push up, kick your legs out, and come down. And if you're thinking, oh, no, then come on and sit down, meet me right here. So our blocks are outside our legs, our hands are on our blocks, and I can turn and face you. Some of you say it's easier to hear me when I'm facing, so let's hope this works. All right, so hands outside the blocks, push-ups. So our elbows go out, but for this one, I want you to keep your elbows hugging in for now. Push up, come down. Push up, come down. If you don't have blocks, you can do fists for wrists, fingers, thumbs tucked in, same thing on the block, or your hands, push and lower, push and lower. Now what I want you to do is imagine you're being poked in the belly and round, but not from your low back, right? I want you to tuck and release, tuck and release, tuck. Notice it's not here. I'm not doing this. I am staying tall, tucking as if my belly button is tucking under my ribs. Now, lift up and hold with that tuck, like you're taking your belly button and shoving it under your rib cage. Ready? Tuck, hold, lift, and march those heels. March, march, look at your knees, look at your toes, not with your chin, and come on down. Shake it out. Feel free to stretch those wrists, right, left, or right, like you agree with me, whatever you want. All right, flexibility work. We've got to have the flexibility to open this hip up. So when we grab the left foot with our right hand, oh, I'm mirroring you. When you grab your left hand to your right foot, your right hand goes behind your knee, and you rock and roll. Now, if you can't do this and you're here, then maybe you need to bend your knee and see if you can take the foot across the thigh and just lean back. This may be your stretch where you're trying to press your knee away from your chest. So you decide, and then some of you, your knee goes back. Your hand grabs your foot. Your knee is behind your shoulder, and you have that flexibility working. Now, to go a little deeper, we take the leg over the arm. Where's your belly button? Pulling up and in. Where's our heart? Lifting up and then tipping forward. We're not dropping it down into our hips. Hands on our blocks, and we push up. March the heel. March, 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 or hold it. And then come on down. Release. And say, ah. Right? Some of us are going to be happy when April ends. Others are like, I'm going to figure out how to get this pose. We all are on this journey differently. All right, from here, grab the left foot, hold the left hand, rock and roll. I had to think for a minute there, since I mirror you. All right, now we open the hip. Stay right here if you need, or take your left hand to your left foot and hold the leg back. So again, here's my shoulder, here's my knee. Okay? Now, if you're here, it's going to be really hard to get that leg anywhere but near your elbow, and eventually we need it up by the shoulder. So you decide, are you progressing to leg over arm? Are you progressing to hands on the block? Now notice I have to have a chicken wing for this one, but I'm not on my elbow, and I'm on that meaty part of my arm where I have the support, okay? And then pull the belly up and in, heart pulls forward. We're looking to our toes or our knees, but not with our chin, okay? From here, can you push up? Can you march the right leg? Or can you hold it? Breathing, not clenching teeth. And then we lower, and we release those blocks, and we say, thank goodness that is done. All right, feel free to shake out those hands, flick water off your wrists. So take now and turn to the right side of your mat, lengthwise. Take the right foot underneath, take the left leg behind. If you're not in the same direction as me, change whatever leg works, it's still gonna be the same pose. We move into Ekapada Raja Kapotasana. Who knows what that is? It's pigeon pose. So, Ekapada, one leg. So hands in front, extend the leg back, and hinge, come center. You have blocks maybe, so you can send it under the sit bone. But what I want you to avoid doing is staying tipped into this right hip. Come center. Inhale, lift up and hold. As you hold, push into the top of your foot. Can you lift your knee off the ground? If you're like, I don't want to do that, I just want to melt to the floor, do that. But add a little more power by pushing into your foot, lifting your knee, lift up, then release the knee, hinge forward. Even when we hinge forward, it is not a surrender. That's all saved for Shavasana. This is a right hip back, left hip forward, belly button still engaged, softening in the jaw to tell the hips to relax. Walk the hands into the body. Hopefully your belt is still at the same end we left it. Sit to the side, bring the leg around. Let's do Huron pose. So, as we take the belt to the ball of the foot, we lift up. Back is straight for this one. We're not rounding at all. Back is straight, and maybe you stay right here because you need that hip flexibility and hamstring flexibility. The rest, lift your heel. Others, extend the leg. Others, you don't need the belt. You can interlace the fingers, soften the shoulders, elbows hug in, heart pulls to the sky. Some of you are going to take this left foot and bring it on top of your right thigh. So in half lotus, Ardha Padmaasana. And let me turn and face you, and if it messes you up, just stick to what you're doing. So our left foot is on top of our right thigh. Our right foot is underneath. Now, if you're like, my leg doesn't do that, come into crisscross, okay? With your left foot, leg in front, you're gonna take your left arm behind your back. Right arm comes across. If you're in this half lotus, you're going to bring your left arm across to find that left foot, right hand to the right foot, and turn. Now, if you're pregnant, you don't have to do any of that. You can just cross the arms and do a little shoulder turn. That's it. What works for you? Or if you're protecting a back, remember, find what works for you. I'm going to turn back to face in the direction we came from. want you to do is release. Slide your right leg out from underneath. Let the left leg tuck in. Ekapada Raja Kapotasana. Pigeon pose. So bring your right leg behind. Move the belt out of the way for a moment. As the leg extends back, shift your hips to the center of the mat. Again, we can use a block to fill that space to bring ease. But some of us are going to add intensity. Fingertips to the mat, heart lifts to the sky. Notice I'm not here with my shoulders. Pull your shoulders down as well. Now push into the top of that right foot and lift your right knee. Now your inner thighs need to squeeze towards each other. What if you squeeze your glute? What does that feel like? If you're like, horrible, then relax. Now let everything release to the mat and fold forward. Remember when I said you're a student of your body. Listen to the feedback. Even if in your feedback you're like, I don't want to do this right now, then listen. Come out of the pose, take a variation. We're almost done. Rise back up, Crouchasana, Huron pose. Sit to the side, bring the leg around. Remember, we're going to use that belt if we need to. But I need you to pull your heart up like you're sitting against the wall. Lift your heel or extend the leg. Notice I'm not rounding and diving, flipping my elbows out. So I want you to try the same thing. Lift up, elbows in, heart tall. If you're like, I don't need my belt, then don't use it. Are you ready for the pretzel pose? All right, take your right foot on top of the left thigh. If your hip is saying, please don't make me do this, then don't make it do it. Take your right leg in front, right? And then we take our left arm across and we twist. Or we have the right leg on top. Left leg has to be out from underneath your thigh, so you can bring the right arm across, left hand to the left foot, and twist. Slowly release and come back to one side of your mat. Move all your props out of the way and slowly open the knees. Supta Baddha Konasana. Now, if you've moved all your props out of the way and you're like, yeah, my knees don't want to be here, we're still seated. We haven't laid back yet. So maybe the blocks are going to go here. Maybe they're going to go horizontal. Maybe you need them vertical. Or you're going to not do it at all. You're going to go opposite, feet wide, knees in. So go ahead and release down. Take your hands into that diamond. And from here, if you can, place your elbows on the floor, hands overhead. Let's do a guided breath work. The inhale will always be 4. We're going to move up to 8. But let's start 4 and 4. Here we go. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale 4. Exhale 5. Inhale 4. Exhale 6. Inhale 4. Exhale 7. Inhale 4. Exhale 8. Two more times. Inhale 4. Exhale 8. One more time. Inhale 4. Exhale 8. Lift the arms up. Feel free to place the hands on your belly or on the earth. And then slowly extend one leg out at a time. If you want to come into your Shavasana with those legs out long, just surrender to stillness. Imagine the sun is shining through the leaves as they dance across your face. Hear the birds chirping. Imagine smelling the fresh cut grass. Think of a waterfall gently flowing. And with it, it's taking away any stress or tension you still were carrying in the mind or body. Find your ease. Find peace and relaxation. You're welcome to stay right here. Or let's begin to wiggle fingers and toes. If you want to stretch the arms overhead, reach long, and then hug those legs into the body. Tell your body, I love you. Love yourself. Be proud of everything you've done. Gently roll to one side, or if you're more comfortable, just rocking up. And then we're all going to press up and meet in that easy seated pose. We bring the hands to the heart, and let's take that sound of Om before we finish class. Nice big inhale. Om. It is always a pleasure to be on the mat with you. I invite you to smile and finish with Namaste. Have a great day. I will see you tomorrow for a different flow, Hatha style. So just know each time you meet me on the mat, we do something a little bit different. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the mat.